Hi, I'm Cameron Leslie. I'm a Paralympic swimmer and my classification is S4, SB4 and SM4. I've been to 3 Paralympic Games and won 3 Paralympic gold medals. I started swimming when I was 10 years old. I had my first classification at 11 and my most recent classification was in 2019 in the lead up to the Tokyo Paralympic Games.
Hi, I'm Ruth McLaren, Senior Medical Classifier. I come from a physiotherapy background.
My disability is called dysmalia, which means that my limbs didn't form fully. So I've got that alongside of a loss of muscle power and a loss of range of movement as well. For some, classification can seem complicated, but the purpose of today is to demystify and ease any anxiety along the way around the classification process. Ruth will go through the process of a para-swimming classification using me as a model, and we will pretend that we're going through a full classification.
Classification is an essential component for all parasport because it defines who can compete. It groups athletes into sport classes with other athletes with similar activity levels and makes sure competition is fair and ensures that athlete success is determined by their skill and not how severe their impairment is. An athlete with a disability requires a classification before they can compete as a para-athlete in a parasport. The classification process differs from sport to sport because classification is designed to be specific to the different movements in each sport. Classification may seem a bit complicated, but there are set rules that classifiers need to follow so that classifications are fair and accurate for all athletes. Classifiers have the welfare, safety and fairness of para-athletes front of mind during classification so that competition can be fair for all.
Before attending classification, I need my doctor to fill out a form to explain my disability and any challenges and limitations that I might have so that the classifiers know about me and my disability before the day. On the day, I have to fill out a consent form to say I'll give my best effort and give an honest response to everything that they're asking me to do. But the classifiers will make me feel welcome and let me ask any questions at any time.
Classifiers are experts in their field and are trained by the International Federation, in my case, World Paraswimming. I'm a medical classifier and I work with a technical classifier who could be a sports specialist such as a coach or sports scientist. There is always a panel of 2 classifiers. Today it's just me, but I'll give an outline of what both classifiers will do in a medical and a technical assessment with Cam. The first part of assessment involves a few questions of the athletes, including their sporting history and length of time in their sport, current training, recent events they've competed in, and other sports training they may do. If I need any more details about the athlete's impairment and how this affects them during their sport, I will ask at this time so I can get a full picture of the athlete's abilities and which assessments are going to be appropriate for them. The next component involves a medical assessment to measure the athlete's impairment. Because Cam's impairments are loss of muscle power, range of motion, and shortened limbs, I'll use a number of different assessments. Each assessment is scored and contributes to the final calculation that determines the sport class. Okay Cam, so the first assessment I'm going to do is measuring limb length. So for the purposes of this video I'm just going to measure one limb, but in classification we would be measuring any limb that has an impairment. Fabulous. Okay Cam, now I'm going to look at your muscle power. Can you reach your arm up to the ceiling? Great. And bring it back down. Fabulous. And then bring it halfway. Great. And hold really strong. Great. Good job. Okay. Now can I get you to lie in on your tummy with your head through the hole that we're giving you? Thanks. Good work. And can you lift your arm up off the bed? Great, well done, and hold strong. Great, good job. And now we're going to measure the range of motion of the joints that are restricted. Great, can bend your elbow up as far as you can. Thank you. Great, and can you straighten it as far as you can? Perfect, thanks Cam.
Following the medical assessment, we move into what's called the technical assessment. So Ruth will watch me in the water, make sure I'm safe, and see what challenges I have with floating, rotating and gliding in the water. She'll also watch me in all 4 strokes, as well as how I go about doing a start and a turn. Now that we're done with the medical assessment, it's time to head off to the pool for the technical assessment. See you soon.
Once the medical and technical assessments are done, the scores are added up and a sports class is allocated. The swimmer may be observed in their first swimming event in the competition. The outcome after the medical and the technical may stay the same or may change. The athlete will be given a final sports class and sports class status of either a review status, that is, they need to be seen again, or a confirmed status, not classified again unless there's a change in their condition. Young athletes who are still developing in their sport or athletes who have fluctuating conditions will always receive a review status.
We hope this video has given you a better understanding of what classification is, why it's an important step in becoming a para-athlete, and what's involved in the process. The principles of classification assessment are similar across sports, they're just done differently depending on the sport.
We hope this video has given you a clearer picture of what's involved in classification and the types of questions and movements the classifiers will ask of you so that you can be given a sports class for competition. Classifiers work courteously, respectfully, and always have the athlete at the centre of all that they do. They will always ensure that the most accurate class is given to each athlete so that all competition can be fair and the athlete who is trained the best will succeed, irrespective of their disability.